Hello, everyone, and welcome to the One Council, One Voice, the LDC podcast. My name is Toni Staten. I am the Executive Director of the Labor's Just a Council Lesson Fund, and I'm so excited today because today is our first lessons, first recording, and I have the one and only Stanley Sanders here from Labor's Local 57. See how shy he is? I'm shy too. Stanley is a dedicated pillar of a member, right? He has been involved in the union since 91?
89.
89. Oh, wow. 89. And I was reading his impressive bio here, just how he's involved in the union. And I just want to ask you a question. As I was looking at your bio and reading, I see that you began your career January of 1990 with the Han Pipeline Construction Company.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I want to ask you a question about that, right? So it's 1990. It's January. You're getting ready to go on this is, I assume, your first construction job, right? What does that look like that morning in your mindset?
Okay.
And be real. I don't want the fluffy, what people expecting, like, what's on your mind? What are you thinking? Talk to us.
First thing I want to say is it's a pleasure to be here with you, Toni.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have been a part of the organization.
Oh, yes.
Now, what did that look like?
What did that look like? Young Stanley. How old are you at this point?
Oh, God, Toni.
It's okay. It's a good thing.
I'm 62 now, so maybe I was 25, maybe somewhere around there, 26.
Okay. What does that morning or that evening, whatever that preparation
So that morning, I had never done construction work.
Okay.
And it's January, it's snowing, there's snow on the ground. I don't know what to expect. All I know is I'm going on a construction job with my cousin. And because, everybody has somebody,
you got to know somebody. That's right. That's how you get in.
I'm going on a job with my cousin.
Okay.
And I don't know what to expect. And I get on the job and we're out in the forest. We're out in the forest. It's snowing and we pull up on what we call the right of way, and it's just construction.
It's just
pipeline construction.
Okay.
Never seen this before in my life. And I'm nervous.
Okay. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm nervous because, one thing my father always instilled in me, and God bless me having Joe Sanders in my life.
Yes.
Is that if you're going to do something, you do it right the first time.
Okay.
You do it right.
Yes.
You don't half-ass it.
There you go.
I can say that.
I mean, if you can't, we'll edit it. How about that?
And so I was nervous, me being new and not knowing what to do.
Okay.
Fortunately for me, and this has been a benefit to me in my entire career with the laborers union. Fortunately, I had people who brought me along.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they brought me along.
Yes.
And the first day was success, and I just kept doing construction work.
So at this time, are you married? You have children? What does that look like?
No,
just a young Stanley just
I'm
figuring
single.
it out.
I'm single.
Okay.
I'm single and running the streets.
Listen, but and you're getting paid. So that's a good thing.
Right.
You get a couple dollars in your pocket. So that's a good thing. I mean, like you said, the one thing about the union is that you know somebody, right? Everybody wants to know how to get into the union. And you can give them and say, hey, go on a construction site every morning, just show up until basically the superintendent, like, well, what do you do here? What are you doing? Okay, come on. You come every day. Let's see. But 9 times out of 10, it's because you know somebody. And somebody wants to help you because they realize that I don't either want you to go this way or you've been that way. And then you need to come here in terms of second chances, right? Because we are the second chance.
Yep, we are.
So I guess my question to you is, I see on your bio that you went to Lincoln University as a business major. So my question to you is that 24, 25-year-old Stanley, was this your second chance?
So when I came, I went to Lincoln University.
Right.
Didn't graduate.
Okay.
Was too busy partying and doing other things.
Life be lived.
And I had my cousin. I was doing a couple things. I had sold investment securities for a company, which I think was a startup company at the time, was First Investors.
Okay.
So I did that for a little while. I was a general manager at McDonald's, had 2 stores.
Okay.
Matter of fact, Brian Gerard was one of my stores.
Wow. And that's a busy,
Brian Gerard, Well, that was something else.
I know that was fun.
And then there was a store out 65th and Lancaster, 64th and Lancaster.
Okay.
I had that store also. So at the time, I happened to see my cousin Kevin Tucker.
Okay.
I saw him at Broad and Stanton.
I know exactly.
At the gas station.
Okay, the gas station is still there.
And it's still there. And he said, yo, cuz, you want to come work with me? So I said, I don't know how much you make. And he said, at that time, it was $16.35 an hour. And back then, that was good money. That was good money.
Yes.
I said, hell yeah, I want to come work with you.
And why not?
All right. So then I think maybe 2 days later, I found myself on a pipeline construction site working for Hahn Construction.
Wow.
And that was it. But I guess the labor, I've always been a person, even when I was in school, I'll never forget in college, I was a business management major. Okay. And there was I was taking a course, it was actually management. Okay. It was one of the major courses. And the professor at the time said, in business, you can't control much, but the one thing you can control is your labor.
There you go.
And that stuck with me because I was never a proponent of corporate America or the arena of corporate America. I always felt like working people, and this is growing up, working people and consumers always got the tail end or the bad side of the line.
Right. Okay.
And when he said that stuck with me because he said you can't control insurance costs, you can't control material costs, you can't control anything else. You can't control regulation, but you can control your labor. And and the course went into say that you have to cut labor and cut back on this and cut back on that. Okay. And take advantage of this and take advantage of that. And what that said to me was, okay, so you want to cut back on your salaries, you want to cut back on your wages and your benefits and take advantage of your working people. And that's what that said to me, even at that age.
Yeah.
So when I got involved in construction, I was like, well, let me find out what this is all about.
If it's true, right?
Right.
If it's really.
And it's true.
Yeah.
It's true, So that was I think that was kind of when I heard that was the ideology that I took through life, is that working people, unless they had some organization to advocate for them, right, was always going to get the short end of this.
Was going to get taken advantage
right.
of, Wow.
That's what
and that stayed with you. And that's just so amazing because with your other positions that you had within the union, Sergeant at Arms, organizer, that was your passion. You understood before you even got there the expectation in terms of what they were fighting for.
And the importance of it.
Yes.
Right. So that stuck with me. And lo and behold, and again, when I got into construction, I never thought that I would be direct involved with the labor movement per se.
Yeah.
But I joined the union because I had to join the union.
Right. Exactly. You got to pay bills, you make some good steady money, some benefits.
Right.
So let's fast forward. You're in the union, you're a card holding member. And we talked a little bit about before we recorded how you can get stuck in that, right? Mm-hmm. Getting good money, great benefits, paying your dues, just having your card and on in your life, right? But in terms of getting involved, how did this Sergeant at Arms start? Because that was your first position in the union.
Yes.
In terms of Sergeant at Arms, and kind of explain to the people once they listen to this recording or the session what that means and how did that come about first?
So that came about, and I credit my brother Mike Daniels.
Oh, Mike Daniels. He's such a good person.
Credit Mike Daniels.
Shout out to Mike Daniels.
I've known Mike for years prior to. Matter of fact, I didn't even know he was in the union or he did construction or he was a union rep or anything. No, Mike Free. As a matter of fact, we knew each other from the streets, and I would see Mike, and Mike would be like, "Yo, man, come on, man, you got to come on down and get involved. You got to get involved with the union. Da, 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 da. You got to come on. You got to be a part. We need you. We need your participation from our membership and all of those things." And so, let me back up a little bit. I had actually left the union for a little while. I never left the union. I actually left construction.
Okay.
And I became a correctional officer for a little while.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. See what the podcast tells it all. Okay.
So I had become a correctional officer for a while. And in keeping the candid, being honest with you.
Please.
I couldn't do that job. And the reason why, one of the major things that stuck with me was all I saw was us incarcerated.
There you go.
And it's this just makes me emotional when I talk about this. Right. Is I'm saying to myself, all I see is young black men incarcerated. You can't tell me that some white people ain't doing some crime, some Asian people not doing some crime. You can't tell me that.
Different strokes for different folks.
And it was just like it was depressing.
Right, there you go.
It was depressing to go to work every day and see people just locked up. And here's the other thing. All they were doing was just locking them up. There were no programs to, as they say, prison is supposed to rehabilitate you.
Exactly. I
didn't see any programs for rehabilitation. I just saw people being locked up.
Keeping you down.
So, I was like, I can't do this. So I went back to construction.
Right.
And I said to myself, if I'm going to make construction a career, I need to get involved with the union and find out what the union is all about.
That's what I'm talking about. It's those moments where you identify with others in terms of making a change, and you're like, you know what? Because when you were going as the correctional in the facility, rather, it was a reflection of what could have been.
What could have been, yep.
You see yourself, you see your neighbor, you see your brother, you see people. It's so familiar.
I saw friends.
You saw friends.
I saw people I grew up with incarcerated. Like, damn, So, I said, if I'm going to go back into construction, I need to get involved with the union and find out what the union was all about. And I started making union meetings.
Wow.
And then once I started making union meetings and I heard what the business manager was saying, and at that time it was Richard McCurdy.
Okay.
And I heard the things that he was saying and how he talked about, getting good collective bargaining agreements and contractors coming into the area not being fair and not hiring residents and not hiring people who lived in the community, and how they were undercutting the wages and the standards for the area and all those things. I was like, wow, this is
well, that was that full circle moment you had from that conversation with the manager, right?
Yes, in school, talking about labor and all that, right?
That's that full circle
right.
moment.
That's when it all became, that's when it all came into perspective.
Yes.
So, it was, and from there I decided, let me get involved. I started volunteering. And let me say this. I did not start and get involved in the union to become an officer or to become a union rep. I got involved because I wanted to give to my organization. I started volunteering and everything. If they had a picket line, if they had, I remember one of the major things I did, we started getting involved in the Labor Day parade, and I was involved in designing the float for the Labor Day parade.
Wow, good old floats. Everybody loves to be on those floats.
And I started doing that and other things, volunteering for the Political Action Committee, volunteering for the Sergeant at Arms Committee, doing those things. And that's how I learned about the organization and what the organization did for working people and the benefits. And it was a position became available for Sergeant at Arms, and I became Sergeant at Arms.
And that entails what? Because like I said, some people want to listen to this podcast and they're like, well, what's Sergeant at Arms? So what is Sergeant at Arms?
So the Sergeant at Arms is the person who, in the union meetings, they basically keep order.
Keep order.
If or anytime the hall is open,
right? Okay.
The Sergeant at Arms is in position to keep order, to make sure that the things are going as directed. Making sure that people are not getting out of hand and things are being run.
Keeping a tight ship when they're doing the union meeting or when the hall is open.
When the hall is open, right.
Making sure people are in line of order and respecting.
And acting, right. Respecting the organization, respecting the building, and are acting accordingly. So,
okay.
That's about.
So you're a volunteer, dedicated member who's now Sergeant at Arms. So you're still in the field.
Still in the field.
Still in the field. So what does that look like the day you become an organizer? Out the field, you already, you know what I mean? They come to you, or, you're at a meeting. How does that conversation with Rich McCurdy?
So Rich announced at the union meeting that position was becoming available as an organizer. And it would be, this is when the district council had just started their organizing program.
Okay.
And at that time, we were part of the Eastern region. We were not part of the
Mid-Atlantic region. Okay.
And so we part of Eastern region, and Rich said that there would be a organizer position becoming available under the Labor's District Council. And they were taking applications, and I applied.
Okay.
And I always like to say that someone saw something in me that I didn't see in myself, because I was applying just to apply. I didn't think I was going to get a position.
You think, okay, I'm a sergeant at arms.
Right.
What can it hurt? I've been around.
Right.
I've seen people, so let me just see.
Let me just shoot my shot and see if I can get a
people
position.
were seeing you. They saw you.
Right.
They took interest.
Right.
Clearly.
Right.
And brought you in.
Brought me in.
So again, you become an organizer. Mm-hmm. So what does that look like the first day, right? Did you understand the assignment in a sense? Did you know, explain to the people?
I knew what an organizer did.
Right.
I knew that. So the first day was basically one of nerves. Again,
yeah.
I go back to my father and him always putting in my head, if you're going to do something, you do it right.
Do it right. So
what that looked like for me was, can I live up to the expectations of this organization?
Okay.
Can I I can give 100%, but is my 100% going to be good enough?
And that's what pushes you, though. That self-doubt, that fear, pushes you to see. Yes, what's on the other side? What's on the other side, right? Because you got to suffer, you got to fail before you even achieve anything, right?
Absolutely.
Or it's not even really worth it. So that's the good thing. So those nerves and fear, that's a good thing. That builds character.
And it does. Yes. And that's, you said it exactly right. And the thing about it is, that's what young people have to understand is, if you're afraid to fail, then you will not succeed. Because the reality is, you look at how many shots you think Kobe Bryant missed before he became as good as he is.
Exactly.
How many times you think an Olympic gymnast fell off the balance beam or the rings and got hurt before they figured out how to do it. So if you're afraid to fail, then you will never succeed. And I had to learn. And to be honest with you, construction taught me that. The labor movement taught me that.
Okay.
It really did. And the way it taught me that was, I saw people making moves and doing things and achieving things and not being afraid to make a mistake.
To make a mistake. That's what it is. Not being afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Social media shows all the perfections of the imperfections, right? Because that's the only thing they post. They're not going to post that it took them 10 times to jump over the table with the skateboard and do. They want to show you the success of it. And people need to see how people fail, how they improved, how they got better. So,
and that's important. That's important because that's the process.
Yes.
That's the process.
It's a process. So you're an organizer. Do you strike, you shut down jobs? What do you do?
Yeah.
So tell me about that first. Tell me about an incident. Tell me about an incident that's like people want to know about when you had to pull some muscle.
So
what does that look like?
There's a lot of facets to organizing.
Okay.
Organizing is I like to say that organizing is not a task-oriented position.
Okay.
It's a goal-oriented position.
I like that.
And I say that to say, in a lot of positions, you do this task and you go to and you succeed there, and then you do another task and you finish that, and you do another task and you finish that, and you do another task and you finish that.
Okay.
Organizing is you do a lot of different tasks to get to a goal.
Okay. It leads up to something.
And the goal is to organize a non-union company.
There you go.
But you do you plan and you strategize and you come up with tactics and you do all of these different things, and hopefully at the end of it, you will organize this company. This contractor will see it your way, and he'll say, "Okay, I want to sign with the labor."
There you go.
And one thing I'll say, and I love our organization for this, is our organization prepared me to be successful. Our organization, let me tell you something. Our training programs at the district council level, at the regional level, and at the international level are some of the best.
Yes.
We put time into our members in terms of training, and we also put time into our officers in terms of training so that they can best serve this membership. And I'm not saying that because I was labor.
You were there.
That's my experience.
Yes, that's your experience. Oh, I love that.
That's my experience. They trained me. I went to organizing trainings. At that time we had voice trainings. I went to
voice trainings?
Voice trainings.
I love that.
Yeah, we had voice trainings. It was volunteer organizing in construction empowerment. That's what voice was. It was a acronym. That's what it stood for. Wow. And what it did was it trained membership and other organizers and agents how to organize a company, how to mobilize your membership, how to get the membership involved, how to go out and do research on a targeted company, how to find leverage, all of those things. We had legal classes in terms of in terms of labor law, what we could legally do, what we couldn't do, all of those things. And then as the organizer, you had to put it all together and then implement it.
I can appreciate that. And being on the inside and not really knowing what's going on the outside, that is just that's interesting. I'm proud, because they take the time to make sure that they are giving you enough tools to be successful. It's not just about the muscle and going this to strike and put the red up. It's about, hey, no, let's maneuver this way, right? To let them know we want them to join us because this is who we are.
This is who we are. And again, the rat is just a tactic.
Right. And it's like a last.
It's exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Last result.
It may be a tactic in order to get the attention of the contractor and also the public that this contractor is unfair, and then these are the reasons why this contractor is unfair, and this is how he is affecting our community and our standard of living. The rat is to draw attention to.
There you go.
Now, once you draw the attention, what the organizing training also taught you was, now once you have the attention of the public or the contractor, now what do you do with it?
Wow.
that's
It was every step of the way. It was preparing you in terms of organizers.
Yes.
I really
In terms
like
of
that.
organizing, right.
I really like that.
And then you have top down organizing, you have bottom up organizing,
Exactly.
you have the top down pressure, you have the NLRB bottom up strategy where you go out and you talk to the workers and you get them interested, you find out what their issues are, and then you organize around their issues.
Wow.
That's the bottom up.
I really like that.
Top down pressure. Top down is when you go to the contractor and you say, look, I'd like to talk to you about the laborers. This is what we have to offer. We have our training. We're the best trained, the best efficient. And then that's the top down.
Okay.
And you talk to the contractor.
I like that. Okay, so we're here. You're organizing. You've been an organizer for how long?
I was an organizer for 6-7 years, 8 years.
Okay.
One thing I'll say is once an organizer, always an organizer.
I was about to say, just the way you broke it down. Once an organizer,
always an organizer.
I love that. I love that because it stuck with you, and your passion about making or wanting to succeed in terms of making sure the contractors see the good things that we do. The approach, because the delivery is always important. People don't understand your delivery. So Launa sets you up so your delivery is so important. It's a soft approach, right? It's to let us show you who we are, what we do, the success, where we come from, what you can achieve. I love that about Launa and how it trickled down to make sure they wanted everybody to have those tools to be successful. Setting you up for success is the biggest gift that an organization or company could give you, right?
And you said something about the soft approach, and that's the initial approach. and if you want to talk about organizing,
I want to talk about if you got to get ready to go, because it wasn't always something like that. It was not always a blueprint.
Exactly.
Years ago, it was just about the muscle. So tell us about the muscle.
So you always go with what we call the olive branch.
Okay.
I'm with the laborers, and you tell them about the organizing, you tell them about the training, you tell them about our education, you tell them about equal playing field, and we tell them about all of that. And then if they say, they tell you go pound sand. I'm not interested in being union. I'm doing great the way I am. Blah blah blah. Then you're not taking that approach. So then that's when the research comes in and you start finding the weaknesses, because you have to find out the weaknesses of your adversary, because at that point you become an adversary. And then maybe that's the wrong terminology. That's kind of strong terminology. But at that point you become opposition. Let's put it that way. And so then you have to find out about your opponent.
Okay.
And you have to say, okay, they have violations. They have environmental violations. They have job safety and violations. They cheated their workers out of overtime. These things, a lot of this stuff is public information.
Okay. So you find they're vulnerable.
So you find where they're vulnerable, and you use this leverage. And then you go out. So we had a contractor by the name of, and I don't know if I should do this, but if I can't, then they'll edit it. But we had a contractor. We had a contractor, and we had pretty good information about this contractor. And we find out who their customers are. You find out, what regulatory violations they may have. And then you start to inform their customer base of these regulatory violations. And you may not want to use this contractor because he had an oil spill here, or he had 10 workers who got hurt on this tragic project. Right. A lot of different, whatever their weaknesses are. You start, and then when they bid work, you go there and we make up what we call an evil packet.
Okay, evil packet.
It's an evil packet with all of their violations. and you just start to distribute this evil packet amongst their customers. And what you do is you track this contractor. You say he's bidding here, he's bidding there, he's going to bid this job, he's going to bid this job. And then you start distributing this evil packet. And it's all public information. You make sure that it's vetted by the attorneys. Because that's the other thing that organizing teaches you.
I'm so impressed right now. I'm so impressed. I love that.
You make sure it gets vetted by the attorneys because here's the thing about organizing. Especially when you have to do we call this top-down pressure.
Right.
When you have to do top-down pressure, if it's working, they're going to come after you. They're going to get to sick their lawyers on you.
Okay.
So what you have to do is you have to make sure that before they sick their lawyers on you, you vetted all your information. You have all your disclaimers in there. You have all this in this packet, and then you start to distribute this packet. You distribute the packet. If they have public bids for these projects, when there's a public bid, you go with your packet and you do whatever it is you have to do to say this contractor right here is a reputable contractor because of A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
So it's not like defamation because it's true.
Because it's true.
Exactly.
And it's public information.
I love this.
So you do that, and then hopefully that'll bring the contractor around. And the contractor say, look, I'm tired of this. What do we have to do? All right, then now we sit down and we shake hands and we extend the olive branch and we say, this is what you got to do.
I love that approach. The evil packet.
It's called the evil packet.
Evil packet.
And then and the way you get this information is through lesson.
Lesson. Okay.
Lesson or corporate affairs.
Right.
You get in touch with LIUNA or the regional office or even our district council office. They have researchers and they research this company. They come up with all this information. They give it to you and then you put it in order and you say, okay, this is what we have to do. And this is your packet. You start to distribute it.
Wow.
And then and then also you pull the rat out because now part of this is to bring the attention to the public about all of these violations that this contractor has. Also, you're bringing this to his customers who he may be paying work.
Exactly, because that's the doubt that they're going to have, and they don't want the attention on their building having a big rat out there. Like, what are y'all doing? You have to get rid of this. We can't have this.
We've done things like, for instance, at some point, here's the thing too is that, and I don't know if the laws changed, but at one point, the National Labor Relations Board had determined the rat as an instrument of picketing. So you don't always want to put up a picket line because you don't want to put a picket line up against a user who is using the contractor. You can put a picket line up against a contractor. Right. You just can't put a picket line up against a user. It's called secondary picketing.
User in terms of the other workers that are in
terms of the developer. Okay. So let's say you have a contractor and the developer is using that contract.
Okay.
You you target the developer.
I was going to say it's like wanting to say, right? Because they hired them, they might not know the history, right?
They may not, but you brought that to their attention. But they continue to say, "I'm going to use the contract."
I got you.
So now you got to put the developer.
They're guilty by association,
right? But if you use a rat, then that's an instrument of picketing, and the National Labor Relations Board has said, well, you can't do secondary picketing against a contractor or against a user of a contract.
Okay.
This is the stuff they teach you in LIUNA. This is the stuff they teach you. And so we stopped in some instances when we had a job action against maybe a developer or a user, then what we did, we used other methods other than a rat. Let's say the contractor we're going after had environmental violations, or we one time we dressed up in hazmat suits with drums, looked like hazardous waste material.
Wow!
And we called the contractor an environmental terrorist because they dumped illegal waste somewhere or something like that. So now we're labeling this contractor as an environmental terrorist. And we had on respirators and Tyvek suits, and we had drums and signs saying that, or whatever the kind, you might have to take that out. ABC contractor is a environmental terrorist. Right. And, and then that caused a lot of developers and users to say, we're not using this contract.
Wow.
So that's the top-down pressure tactic.
I love that. Very interesting.
And we did salting. We would salt the contractor and we would hire people would go out, members would go out and work and apply for work.
Right.
Because we would track the newspapers and we would see where a contractor may have been having a what do you call it?
Career day?
Yeah, career day or something.
Okay. Enrollment, open enrollment.
Enrollment, right. And we would just send members to go apply for work. And members would get hired. I've gotten hired.
Okay.
And when you get hired, you can go work for a contractor or a company.
Okay.
And you tell the company, yes, by the way, I am going to try and organize your workers. I'm just letting you know that
like back to a front door tactic. Exactly. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna organize your work. I'm gonna let you know that I'm gonna organize your workers.
Okay.
And then if the contractor discriminates against you, now you can file an unfair labor practice charge against them. Why? Because they're not allowed to discriminate against you because of your union affiliation. Because it's all legal.
Oh, y'all covered every aspect.
So
I love that.
That's kind of the tactics of an organizer in its short.
I'm so impressed. I love the tactics. I love the education. I love the tools, the resources that Launa and the district council sets you up with. Is so, because on the outside looking in, you just don't know. You hear organizer, okay, that means that you go to bring contractors in. But the way you do it or how you break it down in terms of trying to really show them it's in their best interest and why, I really appreciate that. I appreciate it. I think I appreciate it more than I did yesterday. I do today. So, yes, that was very good because that's what this podcast is about too. Educating the viewers, right? So they really understand what's going on behind the scenes. And not just like the titles and understand, the quick summary of it, but what it is details in terms of your job as an organizer, the preparation, because that's important. And you've broken that down and, what it takes. So I appreciate you with that.
Thank you.
Okay, I have another question. So here we are. You have your years, you have your experiences, right? What makes you now say, at this day and time, 2025, I'm thinking about retirement? What makes you say? Because, Stanley, I just want to say you are so well respected, throughout this organization, Labor as a council, not just at Local 57, in addition to 413, 332, just everybody loves and enjoys Stanley. You've always been a even playing field kind of person in terms of how you talk to people, your approach, just so respected, well respected. Basically I'm saying you got everything going on, right? How does that work in terms of you wake up, clearly you have a conversation with your wife, with yourself first, and how do we get to retirement?
So after being an organizer, being a business agent, being a secretary treasurer, you get to the point where these positions, and I'll tell anybody, and you know this.
Yes.
These positions are rewarding, but they're also demanding.
It's your second family.
Yes.
It's your second family.
Yes. And I would tell anyone anyone that's a union rep will tell you and let me say this may be a little controversial, but if you got to cut it, you can cut it. Anyone will tell you if you're doing this job right and you care about this organization and you care about those members, this job is taxing.
Yes.
This is not a 9 to 5.
Nope.
It is not a Monday through Friday. It is not I'm off today and I'm not doing anything. This is 24/7.
Yes.
And I'll say this, and I have told people this. The job, the family comes first. Family always comes first. God first. Family, but the one thing about these positions is we're talking on a daily basis. This organization comes first.
Listen.
On a daily.
And he said it. Because even when you were on vacation, that phone.
If that phone ring,
you're working.
At night, if that phone rings,
yeah.
If someone calls you, they have an issue. Because here's the thing, and I thank God for the people who brought me along, is they always said to me, put yourself in the shoes of that member that's calling you that has an issue.
Yes.
Why? Because they want to hear something from you and to see something from you that's going to make them feel like this is going to be all right. Because when they call you, they got an issue.
And they're panicking.
And they panic.
They are panicking.
And now, because I was an organizer and then became an agent, so now I'm going on putting on the agent hat and the secretary treasurer hat, that your membership has to know that they can depend on you when times are tough and they're having an issue, because they want to go to work.
Yeah.
They want to make a living, and they expect that the way they're going to do that is through the union. And as far as they're concerned, you are the representative, and you're their representative of the union.
You're the lawyer that's always on retainer.
The lawyer
that's always on retainer.
All of that.
But that's a good thing.
It is. Because you know why? And you said it earlier. Struggle and challenge are your character builders.
Yes.
And this organization and the experiences I've had built my character. The people who brought me along, the Mike Danielses, the Mike Carfagnos, the Richard McCurdy's, the Esteban Veras, all of them who helped me be who I am and where I am, I learned something from each and every last one of them. And hopefully they also learned something from me.
Well, of course they did.
Hopefully I gave as much as I took, from them and from this organization, I hope. So I say all that to say, because you asked me what I need to get retirement. I felt like maybe I didn't have any more to give at the level that it needed to be given. Because you can stay in these positions for forever and just coast along and all of those things. But if you care about your membership, you care about your organization, once you feel like your level of will, if you so to speak,
I like that.
Once you feel like you've reached the ceiling of your will to be able to give, then it's time to step back and let somebody younger come along and say, I have something to give now. And I'm willing to give it. Because the reality is you may have something to give, but you also got to be willing to give it. And that's why I say that these positions on a daily basis, we all say family comes first and all those things, but on a daily basis, this organization. Now, if you have something to do, you get a call. Oh my, got to go pick my daughter up. My wife called me, blah, blah, blah. Oh, this organization will tell you, if you have to deal with family situations, you go ahead, deal with your family.
Exactly.
Because your family is their family. I wouldn't let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. This organization, the people who run the laborers, and I'm talking about the Ryan Boyers, Esteban Veras, the Sam Statens, the Jimmy Harpers. They are family people. And they care about people. And I'm not just saying this because
No, I mean the sacrifices that people don't see on the back end, that these men in leadership not really give up, but really spread themselves out. It's, in addition to their blood family, in addition to the union family, and the union family are the members.
Yeah.
They're the in-house people. Right. They're the politicians that they have relationship with. They're the contractors they have relationship with. They're the program, non-profit organized leaders. It's so many different avenues that these leaders and these labor are spread out amongst. Is the emails and the phone calls. So I get it when you say you've reached a point where you've given so much and you are proud and you've done everything you can do. Now is to a point where at this time and age, you're like, you know what, give it to somebody younger who can run around more, has the energy. That's right. Because you've been there and done that, right? You know what I mean? You've been there and done that, and a good thing. And we're so, like I said, thankful and grateful for the Stanley Sanders, right? For your contribution, because that's what it is. It's a contribution that you give outside of your family to your other family, right? So much of yourself, people just don't understand and realize. And that's why when you were getting emotional about it, is because that love and that passion, when you started coming in on that first day in January, that cold winter day. To
that snow on the
ground, looking at the big pipes and feeling intimidated, like, well, what am I supposed to do? To this retiree organizer that's been a sergeant at arms and a secretary of treasurer and all of the above, and changed lives, impacted lives.
I love what you just said. Yes. And I tell young people who came behind me is that this organization changes lives because it changed my life. And people, and I say to them, and I know it changed your life.
Yes.
Because a lot of people don't understand what's that term? You don't miss the water till the well runs dry.
Yes, you don't miss the water till the well.
People don't understand that without people, you see people, they get a job and they get a job in construction and, I get another job, and they don't care. And this, the attitude is that I got this one, I'll get another one.
Right.
And that's in a sense true in terms of when you're in organized labor. We used to have a saying in the field, I came looking, I leave looking.
Okay.
But that did not mean that I didn't give 100% while I'm here.
Exactly.
What that meant was when this job is over, I'm going to have to find another one. And fortunately for us who are union members, we can go down the hall, get on our work list,
yes,
and hopefully go out.
Exactly.
A lot of people don't have that benefit. They don't have a benefit to say, all right, I got laid off. Let me go get another one because I know the organization that I pay dues to and I belong to is going to take care of me. People don't have that today.
None at all.
People don't have and I've seen, I thank God for, like I said before, the business managers, Esteban, Ryan and Sam, and also the ones that came before them. Because look, Benny Irvin, Sam Staten Sr.,
the
visionaries. Jimmy Harper, James Harper Sr.
Yes.
Those were the visionaries.
They didn't have the book.
They didn't have
the voice class. The acronym. They didn't have any of that.
They didn't know that the benefits that these men and women out here working out in the field. Now we got some best benefits. And let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I go to the doctor and I get a prescription. I don't have to worry about it's going to be $100 and some. I don't have to worry about that. I go to the pharmacy and I hear what people say. Okay, this is going to cost you $150. This is going to cost you $300. Mine's just $5. In some cases, $2. And then people look at me like, well, damn.
Listen, but if it slides through the cracks and then you do get a bill for $350, you just go down on the second floor to 665 and they will take
care of it.
The member pick that phone up and we will take care of it. I love it.
All these programs we have, our health and safety program, our lesson, our training. Look, the health and safety program that's here.
Yes.
Is second to none. With this culture of the taking care of your mind, your finances, your body, all of those things. I'm telling you, the members need to reach into that health and safety program.
Listen, they have to.
Because that health and safety program, if they take advantage of it, it's the bomb.
Yes, and they offer everything across the board. And again, they will be on the podcast too, doing their shows. You know, the great team over there, the coordinators of health and safety. We're excited about those shows that are coming too. So I want to ask you one question, because this is my thing I'm going to ask most of our guests, right? If you wrote a book about yourself, listen. Who would you dedicate that book to and why? Let's take a moment.
I ain't got to think about it right now. It's just, I was just getting emotional about my father.
Come on. It's okay. That's a good thing.
I thinking about my dad. He passed away. I think I was about 22. He was 65. And I never saw my dad. I never saw my day when my dad did not get up and go to work. My dad had a really bad back for a period in his life where my mom had to wash him and dress him.
Okay.
But see, one thing he did was he got up and he went to work.
Wow.
My dad was a man who, if he didn't know how to do it, he would learn how to do it.
Okay.
And again, he was always the one to tell me, because I was a kid, teenager, young boy, I ain't giving a damn about doing stuff, you know. He would always say, if you're going to do something, do it right the first time.
There you go.
And he did not live long enough to see the direction that I went. And I asked my sister, and I remember asking my mom, I said, do you think Daddy would be proud of me? And they all said, oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And if I could write a book about my life, I would dedicate it to him, because I feel like he is the primary reason why I am who I am today.
Here you go.
And I will say this to a lot of these young brothers, a lot of men who have children and families. Be the role model in your family. Be the person and the man that God said that you're supposed to be.
Okay.
Because without the male role model in the family, there's a chance. How can I say this? Without the male role model in the family is in jeopardy. And I think that's a lot of what we see in our society as African American, as I like to say, Black people.
Right.
The men,
the breakdown
of the family is because of the systematic alienation of the strong Black male.
Wow.
I just believe that's me.
And you were able to witness it.
Yeah.
And you were a correctional.
Right. But I was correctional officer. See that exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You were able to witness it. So that's why you've seen it. Right. And you understand it and you know it to be true.
I know it to be true. It's my experience.
Oh my God. Well, Stanley, thank you so much. It's the first show for Lesson. I'm so excited. Stanley, you be best.
Thank you.
Oh my God. This was
Thanks,
so
Toni. Thanks, Toni, for giving me the opportunity.
Oh my God. Yes. So we're sounded off. I want to thank you so much. But I have a gift. Don't move. So every guest gets a gift. That's it down. And this is for you. A little swag, call it. A little swag.
Swag bag.
So you can look inside of it. Got some goodies. We match.
Thank you.
We match.
Thank you.
You still have something else. That's why I called about that extra large, that size.
Okay, man.
We have our one councilwoman voice coffee mug.
I love that. I love that saying too.
Yes.
I love that saying.
And then we have our little notepad for you can take it with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toni. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate you. We're sounding off. This is Toni Staten. And thank you so much, Stanley Sanders, retiree, doing our segment of the 21st century labor
It's
retirement.
been a pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
See? Hey, guess what?
That was easy.
55 minutes.
That was good.
See? When you start talking,